thing I want if I die. I want y'all bumping this shit at the cookouts. All the actions. I'm not dead until the music stops. Hey yo, Rod, where you at? Where you at, Rod?
Let's go.
I want all these fuckers to hear me talk my shit.
Ain't no denying me. Last of a dying breed that died and came back with a humble sense of the irony. Let that mic go, but it's got a habit of finding me, blinding me, morph to the flame that live inside of me. And it's that new era, that flute era, when niggas will do everything you ask except do better. And I don't move mountains, but I promise I move cheddar. I came a long way from writing raps at the youth center. The Soup said it best, I guess I'm Mama Mandela shit. Apartheid flow, but let me skip the embellishments. I'm killing shit like Hemingway before them white elephants. Yo, go ahead and Google that, I promise it's relevant. Hold up, I said if y'all can't stand me, then get with the plan B. Abort the whole shit before I'm forced to get antsy. Or take your best shot, the bullets ain't gon' glance me. Not a soul food vibe, this shit is soup for my family. Let's go.
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? This is the first episode of Put It On Wax presented by Upstate Aesthetic. That was the Haunt You remix by Supreme Soup featuring Roderick Douglas, available on all DSPs and Bandcamp today. And we are fortunate enough to be joined by the Supreme Soup himself. We're going to do a little bit of an interview, chop it up, talk about that song and many other things. But before we get into all of that, Soup, how you doing?
I'm all right. Trying to stay busy, trying to stay productive. Hope you're doing well yourself.
I feel that I am doing well. Also just trying to stay busy, trying to stay productive. Got a day off, but I'm doing a whole bunch of other stuff, like this interview and other things like that. But it's not really a day off, but I'm enjoying it either way. But how has your week been, bro? You just released this track with Roderick. You've been working on some more music. Things have been going smooth in that respect. So how have you been? Have you been just enjoying it, promoting it, doing that type of thing?
Yeah, so pretty much I put that out and just been I've been doing a lot of things. I've been focusing a lot this past week on just creating more of like a better foundation. Like I'm working on a website right now, so that's been kind of my primary focus. But you know, we dropped that track and a lot of people have checked it out so far. A lot of people are excited to listen to it, and I'm gonna dive deeper into getting it, pushing it further, as soon as I get everything else worked out,
Yeah, that's dope, bro. And this is a good part of that. That's kind of the idea of Put It On Wax, is to give artists an opportunity to talk a little bit about some new tracks that they've got coming out or that they've just released. But before we even talk about the track, I want to ask you a little bit about the website you're putting together and stuff like that as well. But before we jump into any of that, let's just talk a little bit about yourself. Let people know who Soup is if they've never tuned into any of your music or really aren't connected with who you are. Like, where are you from in Upstate? How long you been making music? That type of thing.
Yeah, so I'm from the south side of Binghamton, living on the west side now. So I've always been out here. I've been traveling. I go back and forth between here, go to New York. I got a lot of people. I got family down in New York. And when I say family, I mean like not blood, but people that I see as my family. But I'm basically just, Binghamton artist, Binghamton rapper. I've been doing this for releasing music, honestly, not that long. It feels like it's been longer than it's been because I first initiated like getting into rap like 12 years ago, probably almost 13 years ago. I started writing, but I didn't really become, really extroverted with my music or with my rapping a few years later. So, but I didn't really put out my first single till 2015. So it's, I'm only getting started really. If you look at the bigger picture, I'm really only getting started.
Yeah, that's something I've kind of noticed and recognized. I was looking through some of your discography, and while you do have like an album a year for the last couple of years, like you're really starting to see that growth in you, like really coming out of your shell a little bit, I think, and kind of like you said, you were a little bit more introverted with your music, and now getting out there and connecting with more artists. I heard that you pulled up to the Anthony Cannon show this weekend, like things like that. That's really cool to see an artist like you doing, getting out there and really making moves and sort of connecting in other ways as well. That's dope to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I went out there just because I was curious, and plus I love the city of Ithaca, so I was like, yeah, let me go out there. Let me take a trip. I like to drive.
Right.
I'm gonna go out and it was a good show. I met a lot of cool people out there. They got some dope ass wings out there. They got like the pizza place. They got some nice wings. Shout out to Casablanca. But yeah, bro. Like I definitely have been trying to work with more artists. Plus, like the post pandemic thing.
Do you think it's a little easier now to work with artists in the area? Because you've been making music for a couple of years now. You have a little bit of an idea of the scene maybe shifting up a little bit. Do you think it's easier to connect and network now than it was back in 2015?
Um, I think now, I don't know if it's easier. I mean, in a way, yeah. Like you got TikTok now, um, and over the past couple years, I got into YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I had my own little setbacks with YouTube, but like I got my channel deleted. But at least now I know
That's
the formula.
tragic.
I know it's terrible because I was doing reaction videos. I did a lot of those, and of course, there's copyright issues.
Yeah.
So that happened. I got a little bit lazy. I wasn't editing the videos out enough. But that was something that got me a lot of love. Like, so when I started doing YouTube, that was like a game changer for me because then I'd seen a lot of people that would support me. Like if I was like, yo, go over here for like instance, like the album of the year thing. Like I had a lot of people, I was just like, yo, vote for me. And they did it. I'm like, damn, I got a lot of love from Brazil,
Right.
from uh, just people like Megan Thee Stallion fans because I would watch a lot of her videos. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's easier now just because I've figured out how to connect with people and what I'm good at, what people want to see. But it's also just the fact that I'm older. You know, um, I'm in the back half of my 20s now, so there's a little bit more like of a push, more like an urgency for me to be, pushing harder.
A little bit more
There,
calculated, right?
yeah,
You got the
because
knowledge to
before I
be
was,
more calculated, and then that sense of urgency also to be more calculated. So it all kind of comes together.
yeah, and that's one thing about kind of just growing and being older. It's like I can trust myself more now, and I can trust my instincts more. So yeah, overall, it's just easier for me as a person. Over time, you kind of figure out what to do and force yourself to do things.
Right. And I see the Wu Tang poster in the background. Who were some of your influences when it comes to making music and creating music?
Well, I mean, besides Wu Tang, I mean, Bone Thugs and Harmony, uh, I don't know, Tupac. Those are the guys I listened to many years ago. When I was like 8 years old and younger, I remember listening to Pac and
Who
Biggie and
put you
Bone
onto
Thugs.
that at 8? Who was around the house bumping that?
My brothers, they're both, 8, 10 years older than me. So they would be listening to that type of stuff, and I just picked up on it. We had Napster,
Right.
back before it was Napster and whatever else that just had that library of music. So that's basically what I had to listen to when I got attached to it. So then, when I became a big fan of Bone Thugs and Harmony, that's how I really started coming out of my shell. Because I had written before that, but rapping their lyrics and just challenging myself to do the da 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 speed rap stuff, like I was, that's how I really kind of started to showcase at least my rapping ability, and I started showing my writtens and stuff. So yeah.
That's dope. And do you have any more modern artists that you go to and listen to, or do you still kind of listen to more of like an older style of music even now?
I mean, it takes me a while to really get into particular artists. Like it took me a while to get into J. Cole. Like I like J. Cole, you know. Um, uh, I like Megan Thee Stallion, but for different reasons. Because I'm just a fiend. Like I'm just thirsty. So I know as a result of doing all those reaction videos, I know a lot of her songs. I mean, I like I like the baby. I like his personality. He seems like comedic and like he can have fun. I don't know like his discography or anything like that, but they're modern artists who I look at, kind of as like, in a way, they inspire me just based off of their character, who they are, and what they do.
Yeah, I could
So I
see
try
that in
to,
some of your music, even some of like the more like laid back songs, or like because I've heard a couple of your tracks that fit that vibe of like not super serious, right? Maybe a little bit more of a fun tone to them. I know one of the music videos you dropped last year, I think it was called "Shake That Ass" or something like that. That was just a little bit more in that tone, right? So,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
go ahead.
that was uh, something that I felt like I had to make a video for. People liked it, and because the first time I ever performed that song was at Broome at like a showcase, and there were like probably 200 people in there, and they were all just singing the hook the first time they
That's
heard it.
great.
I'm like, oh, this song is a classic. I gotta put it. So yeah.
That's great, and that one, like I said, wasn't as serious. But you have quite the serious tone to you. You take stuff quite serious. The track with Roderick is very interesting because you've done a lot of work locally, especially in the last year with everything happening across the country after George Floyd passing, and just the things that have changed across the country. I've seen you consistently a part of what's going on in the community in Binghamton, and putting the groundwork in. And so what inspired you to get involved in these things? Because not everyone wants to put themselves in a position to, potentially get arrested from speaking out or anything like that. So what inspired you?
Um. Well, I was doing that. I was going to protest for a while, like that. Originally, the first protest I was ever at was a result of the Dillinger situation
Mm-hmm.
that happened to a friend of mine 8 years ago. They were trying to get them to sign like a pledge to not discriminate. Obviously, that never worked, but like, that was the first actual like rally that I had been to, and it kind of just snowballed from there, from hanging out with BSU at Broome to later on uh, meeting people like Roderick, and shout out to my guy Kamel, who was a part of DCX with me many years ago. Um, though people like that really kind of pulled me further into it, and it's just like a natural thing. It's not I don't know. It's something that kind of just naturally happens. You get involved, and plus I had like a personal hatred for the cops for a long
Right.
time. They kind of do something deeper, and I eventually got to the point where it was like, yeah, I was putting myself like into situations where cops can arrest you, they can hurt you, they can do whatever. Luckily, I've been real lucky. I haven't suffered like I haven't been inconvenienced by what I've done to up to this point.
Right.
Like anytime something like that would happen, like I get like lawyers representing pro bono, and like I haven't had to pay too much for what I've been doing for the protesting. I hope it doesn't happen someday to where I have to like go to jail. But yeah,
But it seems
it's
like I seen one video where you were kind of putting yourself in front of someone else, sort of helping them so they could say what they needed to say and do what they needed to do at one protest. And seems like if you need to though, you will, cause you're down for the cause, and that's dope to see. It's really cool to see, and it's cool to see how the community in general has started to come together, and that has grown over time, and has become a little bit more prominent in the area, if nothing else.
yeah. And if you're talking about the megaphone situation, I just had a megaphone in my hand. I was just trying to hand the megaphone.
Right.
I was I would have been up in the back of the room just like, oh well, okay, I guess I'm out of here. But I was just trying to give him the megaphone. I was already there. I'm like, all right, I guess
Fair enough.
I guess we're doing.
Fair enough. That's how it goes sometimes. And Roderick is someone who's real dope to just see like his presence on social media, and to get people involved through that, and then at the protests as well. So how did this track actually come together? Because it wasn't until some point last year that I even learned he was a rapper, and that he's really, really good at it too. So how did this track come together?
I mean, as far as I know, he been rapping years ago. Like I checked out some of his older tracks, and and for a long time he'd been talking about like, yeah, if you ever want to come through and record, then because he's got like a kind of a setup at his crib, and he's like, yeah, if you want to come through and record, let's do that. And so when I dropped Deuce 20, he hit me up a couple weeks later. He's like, yo, let me get on a remix for Deuce 20. And I'm like, huh, I didn't know what song I was gonna fit him on. I thought about maybe getting him on like Never Getting Married and stuff like that, but I just didn't. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. So I took the Haunt You beat, which um, I don't know, like that. It's a decent. It was a decent song. It wasn't my favorite song. Some people like the song, but I took that beat, I redid it to kind of fit his style, and I messed with the drums. I kind of just rebuilt it. I did like the Juice sample in there, and um, and then I sent it to him, and he was fucking with it. So 6 months later, he wrote his verse, and I was kind of like, yeah, bro, let's do this. I'm ready. Like he wrote his verse, he sent it to me, and then I'm like, all right, I didn't even write anything yet because I was gonna build off of what he did, and then I wrote my part, and we just, you know, it was that simple. We just took a little while, like 6 7 months or so, but it happened finally.
Yeah, and I mean it was
And
worth the wait, right? That track is really dope. And so you produce the you produce the beat. You do you do a lot of that on your own, or do you do all of it on your own?
yeah, every beat on my albums. So like, you know, I got an album like Drank the Super 94. You ain't gonna find that easily, but that album, Opus, Mandela Effect, Deuce 20, all of those albums, all those beats I made, and Gemini Season, which is a mixtape I dropped last year. I did that too, but most mixtapes I don't really always make the beats, but pretty much like 90% of the stuff I put out is my own beats. Yeah.
That's dope. And you've been doing that kind of the same amount of time you've been recording, or did that come along a little later?
I'd always been messing, like I started messing with Fruity Loops, uh, like 8 years ago. Yeah, and I didn't think I was that good at it until I just started to, because I was always the type of dude, I would be looking for beats, and as much as I kind of am like a very, much raw, like hip hop, old school kind of person, at this point, like back then it was even worse. Like I did not want to do anything having to do with like the mainstream sound. So I couldn't find beats that I liked. I just started making my own, trying to make my own, and eventually I got good at it because I would just start to spend more time on one beat. And now it's getting to the point where I'm trying to figure out how to do something that hasn't been done before because it's like, you know, I know a lot of dudes that have like I personally just want to have a sound that's my own that
Right.
kind of stands out where I could just sample like the sound of a lawnmower or something, you know? So yeah, that's been a while. Now I use Logic to make my beats, but yeah, still going with it.
That's dope. That's dope, bro. And so with this project or with this track with Roderick, did you guys like discuss it in terms of the content and how you were going to go in the direction of that? Because you kind of mentioned you were thinking about maybe getting him on Never Getting Married, and that might have had a little bit of a different content substance to it. So did you know what he was gonna send you basically when he sent it, or were you just like whatever we got?
I told him when we write this song, it's basically because the original song is about that too. It's just like haunt you. It's like I'm always gonna be on your minds. Like even if I'm not around, like I'm gonna just be bothering. I'm gonna be a nuisance. I'm like just write a verse about being a nuisance because I feel like nobody in this area really knows as much about being a a uh, a menace to society, like so to speak, as much as him. You know, as far as just pissing people off,
In a
like
smart way too, right? Like in a really really creative, intelligent way.
yeah, like in a positive way. Not everybody likes what he does, but I'm like, yo, like, yo, you can be a nuisance to people. Like that's what I made the song about. So I don't know, loosely based, just make your verse based off of that idea. And he kind of did that, and then I made my verse, and then put the hook together. I ain't gonna never die, da 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 da. Like, and so that's kind of it's loosely based off that.
That makes sense, and it's dope how well it works out with how much he trolls about the soup for my family thing, and then is able to incorporate that in the track. When I heard that, that was amazing. So you guys have done. I really like that track. And do you think you guys plan to work together more in the future, or do you think that this is gonna be more of like a limited thing, one off type of thing?
I don't know. He's technically retired.
I know that's rough because he's nice. Like,
Yeah, he'll put out a song like once a year, if anything, maybe less. But it's always a possibility. It's up to him. Um, like if he was with it, I would make like a video for this. Like I'd be performing this, but I assume he might not be into that because you know, I don't know. He's just like
if you could get
boom.
some animators to do a cartoon South Park character, he might be down with that. But
Exactly what I was gonna say. Like that's crazy you said that because that was what I pictured. If I ever did a music video with him, it would be like I even told him, I'm like, yo, what do you want to do for the cover art? I was thinking like for the cover art we could do like South Park characters, and he was like, nah, nah, like maybe I don't know for a video that would be dope, but it's just
that
like
would be fire. It
I
would
don't,
just have to be executed properly though. But that would be really dope.
yeah. So I don't know. Potential
Fair
possibility. I
enough,
don't
fair
know.
enough. And then you had some strong words for the mayor in that one, calling it the nice little wordplay on Die Rich. So is that did you hesitate at all in saying some shit like that, or you just let it go?
No, I mean if the bar is there, why would I why
Right.
would I just like I'm not the type of person who's gonna be like, nah, that's too much. That's too over the top. Like, cause I wasn't planning to just go after him. I was like, because I don't write like a lot of people do that. Like they'll just I want to use this line, and then they just work it into their raps like a puzzle. I'm just like real linear.
Mm-hmm.
I just write like beginning to end. And if I come across a point where it's like I was like, as long as I'm on the mic shit and I'm gonna die living, like that was just the rhymes that I was using. And originally like it just turned into that. I'm like something like I want to die rich, and then his name just he just came to mind, and I was like, huh. Well,
Yeah.
I don't. We both have beef with the mayor, so why not diss him in this
Yeah,
track?
it works.
And yeah, so it was definitely that's my favorite part too. A lot of people like that part.
For sure. That's a great part. And then this weekend, right? You've got a battle coming up. Have you been doing that for a while, or is this kind of something you're just introducing yourself into?
This is my first battle in 3 years,
Okay.
so I've been focusing on music for a while. That's why I stopped because I was just like I didn't I never wanted to be like a battle rapper. I feel like once you're a battle rapper, it's like your music just becomes secondary. It's like people just want to see your battles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's hard to separate yourself.
yeah, it's I feel like it's a little easier to build your name up as a battle rapper, but at the same time,
It's a
your
smaller
music,
ceiling type of thing, I feel like.
yeah, exactly. There's a ceiling to battle rap, even battle rap as a whole. Like, you know, it's for some reason it's not just like a household thing. It's just like a very particular niche that not everybody can get into. So this is like this is gonna be Black Top Battles, which is just like a local battle league in Binghamton, and I've done most of my previous battles with them before.
Okay. Do they
And
record it and like upload it and do that whole thing?
yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube a few days after the event, so maybe potentially we'll be live.
Dope.
Um, but I'm not in charge, so I don't know
Right.
exactly. I made my own flyer. I'm not gonna say why. I felt like, you know, the original flyer just wasn't doing it for me, so I'm just like made my own flyer, and um, yeah, it's gonna be dope though. I'm battling a dude named Preem,
Nice.
and so
You familiar or no?
it's
You going into this totally blind?
I know, you know, we all got like our research that we've done. I don't have a lot of information on him. I could if I wanted to, but I only have a few things to go off of, and I'm pretty much just trying to stay quiet and humble about it until the event comes, because not everyone's like that. People like to talk
Right.
trash before the event. I'm not really a trash talker, really. I'm just, you know, I just do it. I just do the job. Boom. You
Fair
know.
enough. Fair enough, bro. I'm excited to tune in. I'm excited to tune into that. Uh, if you haven't yet, y'all gotta tune into this track with Roderick. It's a great track. Anything else you want to promote or let people know about before we wrap this up?
Um, really just watch out for more coming soon. Always more collabs, more everything. I'm gonna be trying to collaborate with as many artists as I can.
That's dope. That's
And
exciting to hear. I love seeing more artists in the area connect with each other and work together because it just seems to build growth for everyone that way. So that's really dope to hear for sure.
we're
Looking forward
most
to that.
definitely.
We will close out with the Haunt You remix again featuring Roderick Douglas. Soup, we're going to have to get you on the cypher with me, Sheridan, and Ant and just chop it up about what's going on in music because I think you got a different perspective than the general cats we talk to and then even the three of us. So it would be cool to get your perspective on some of the shit that's going on in music today, and chop it up about what you've got going on as well at that time. But for now, we're gonna close out of this. Thank you once again for joining me for Put It On Wax. Till next time, it's been me and Soup. See ya.
The fuck you gon' do? You better recognize, you know this is my house. Lights on, lights out, mic on, pipe down. Listen up right now, I'm about to haunt you. I ain't gon' never die, what the fuck you gon' do? You better recognize, you know this is my house. Lights on, lights out, mic on, pipe down. Listen up right now. I flew through the damn streets like the food out the pantry. You wanna stand me, they call me Soup cause I can meet. Been through war with the best, never through with the rap thing. Nothing warrants arrest, man, I'm too outstanding. Gotta show the world what the fuck I can do now with this weapon. Back in 2011, I would spew out shit to friends. I had my school out in a frenzy, they expect me to be thriving. Now fantasizing and dying in the shootout with the feds. You do think I can aim? True, bitch, I'm a train. Man, I like spitting. Long as I'm on the mic shitting, I'ma die living. And now I'm wishing the same thing for my prayer in the Binghamton mayor. Die rich, I'ma haunt you. Rockin' gold chains that I flaunt, boo. Only cause I really want to. Fuck you gon' do? This an exercise in death defying, never dying, being the best at rhyming trash talk in record time. I knew the world was cold since my family always was crying. Throughout the kitchen and the blood splattered hallways, they fighting. K through 12, I was falling behind. Raised in hell, that's where I was raised as well. It altered my mind. Thought about having involvement with crime. In case I fail, I can still stay in the cell and call it a night. Like if I sharpen this rod, I can call it my side. Hit a bank and yell, cowabunga, I'm ballin' for life. I'ma haunt you, I ain't gon' never die. What the fuck you gon' do? You better recognize, you know this is my house. Lights on, lights out, mic on, pipe down. Listen up right now, I'm about to haunt you. I ain't gon' never die. What the fuck you gon' do? You better recognize, you know this is my house. Lights on, lights out, mic on, pipe down. Listen up right now.
It's like the more you write about death, the more you gonna live forever. That's the gift and the curse, I guess. Can't kill the revolution either, so 607 shit. 21 forever.